Hello everyone, this is Wrestling Watcher here, a YouTube channel that's about watching professional wrestling. So, Summerslam, Intercontinental Championship, AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio. I think we all know it's going to happen there. That's certainly where the booking's heading. Now, I think this is a really fascinating matchup because I would love to see AJ Styles with an Intercontinental title run. But it's way too soon to take it off Dominic, especially if you're going to establish him as a future main event star. Which means Dominic has to get the win here. And I think it gives a real opportunity. I think Dominic is low-key one of the best in-ring workers in wrestling today. He works hard, he's consistent, it's low key because you wouldn't necessarily think, oh, Dominic Mysterio, best worker, but he just hasn't had the big match, the long match to allow him to have that, except for maybe with Rey Mysterio. Most of his stuff has been tags, single squashes, whether he's winning or losing. He hasn't had that big 20, 25, 30-minute match, for a title. Or just a big match where it's 20, 25 minutes. Where he's really been allowed to show what a great worker he is. But he's been a workhorse for that company. I think 1 or 2 straight years he had the most matches in the company. Which makes this a big opportunity against AJ Styles to really showcase how good Dominic is. And I think that's going to be the story of the match. I think that's going to be the psychology. I think AJ is really going to put him over. AJ is really going to make it a strong match. And I think Dominic is going to pick up the win. It's going to be interesting to see what happens afterwards, though, right? Because I think as Dominic is going to keep moving on up, and I think he's going to have a really good run with that title. What happens with AJ is anyone's guess. With this TNA partnership that they have now between WWE and TNA, could we see AJ Styles go over there? Maybe work with a Joe Hendry? Maybe work with a Nick Nemeth? Maybe go to NXT and work some of those guys as they work alongside TNA. That's certainly an option. AJ's in his mid-40s, late 40s now, I think, but, he still looks great. And, athletics has changed. And guys in their 40s are, when they eat right, eat clean, train hard, they're still athletic and they're still performing quite well. All you have to do is look at Randy Orton and Damian Priest, guys like that. Cody Rhodes, I believe, is 39. And he looks fantastic. He looks as good as he's ever been. Well, I wouldn't say that. That would be wrong. He looks in great shape. You can tell at that Night of Champions against Randy Orton that Cody was in great shape, that he'd been lifting hard. He looked a little bit bigger than usual. That's hard training. That's eating clean. Does he look as good as he did in 2010? Maybe not, but it's irrelevant. He's still a great athlete. But going back to Dominic and AJ, Dominic is going to have a great run with this title, I think. And this match is an opportunity to really showcase how great he is. And that's the thing, because if he goes 20, 25 minutes and fans then say, hey, man, look how great Dominic was. Look how good he was in the ring. Now build stock for him. And I think that's the goal of this feud, is to build stock for Dominic. Hopefully AJ has something good on the other end. Hopefully they give AJ something good. He put Logan Paul over at Mania. I think he's going to put Dominic over. Hopefully there's something on the other side that is good for AJ, because I don't want to see him just doing jobs and putting everyone over. I think there's more to him at this juncture than just that. But we'll see going forward. But this is a great match and a great opportunity for both men, Dominic and AJ. And I suspect you'll see Dominic get the win. And I suspect AJ will do everything he can to make Dominic look great. That's all for this one, guys. Thank you.